Already smell the bloom, a virus is on your tomb. Try not to bat an eye at the elephant in the room.
Just a quick heads up before the video starts. The reason why I'm not making these videos and putting my intro in it is because these are special videos with Nate the Voice in it. And two, because I want these videos to be taking place in the order that they go, instead of just jumbling it all up and mixing them all together. So, yeah. Enjoy this episode, y'all. Which way you want me to go? You want me to go? You see how we're doing that?
Filming other people and putting them in TikToks, is what you saying?
Yeah. He told me that his parents watch his TikToks. In this next clip, I'm assuming that I was asking Nate about why he left home because we were talking about the album How When's Hiatus. So, here's the next clip.
Yeah. So, anyways, yeah.
Like,
whenever
what's the reason why you left?
So I left. The reason that I left was because I was living a life, and I really wasn't happy because I thought that I deserved a better life, and in reality, I think that my ego was a little bit too big. And so here I was, I started a company with a friend of mine, and I was just businessman living. First off, I was living in a cabin in the middle of the woods. We had no running water. I don't think we had. Well, we had running water. We didn't have any hot water. We took showers with a hose pipe outside. And meanwhile, I was living this life where I would go to our business and dress up in a suit and like act like I was somebody I wasn't. You know, coming back to this cabin in the middle of nowhere, and it was weird that I found more happiness just being at that cabin than I did going out and making money and being somebody important. And so the song How was based around me leaving and the reasons why I was leaving. And then like while I was gone, I just realized that this is not what I want, you know.
And like you said I think in that song you said, the one thing you forgot to do was pray.
Yeah, that was the last song. Yeah, when I finally came home, it was like
Solved nothing.
It solved nothing. Yeah, like I thought I was leaving to go do something important, and when I left, I realized it didn't solve anything. What I really needed to do was find out what it was that was making me unhappy. Find what the root cause of it was, and the root cause of it was me. It wasn't anything somebody else was doing to me. It wasn't a lifestyle I was living. It was just me. Like I couldn't find joy in the little things. And once I realized that leaving didn't solve anything, I apologized. You know, I was like, look, I should have never left. And I just decided to be better. I decided to just improve myself. Find out what makes me happy, do more of that, and appreciate the little things. And that's whenever I released Coyote. I started working on Coyote. I felt empowered. I felt happier. I was in a much better place mentally, and I did Coyote. So that's what that came about.
How did you get the equipment though to like make music?
So whenever I did How When's Hiatus, I was going to a friend's house. I was paying him for studio time, and so I was just using his equipment. Well, in the meantime, between How When's Hiatus and Coyote, I got a different job, a job where I was back at home in Louisiana, where I love to be, and I was able to buy studio equipment. I was able to buy a computer, I was able to buy a mic, I was able to buy an interface, all the things that you gotta make, that you have to have in order to make music.
So how much that costs?
I think the interface and the mic went to like $300, and the computer was like $2,000.
So it was like 500
What?
for all of that?
No, it was like Yeah, it was the $300 for the interface. It was like $200 for the program, and then it was $2,000 for the computer. It was $2,500 to get everything. And then now all I did was I turned one of my spare rooms into a studio, and I opened up the closet as a studio. I hung up a bunch of blankets in there, made it soundproof, and
Like,
yeah.
how'd you make it soundproof though? Like,
blankets.
does it block all the sounds? Like, if your like fiance is doing something like that can make a lot of noise, it won't affect anything when you're making.
If she's
music?
been really loud, yeah, it'll affect it. But if she's just being courteous, then no, it's not gonna affect anything.
So like, do you always listen to your voice recordings first before you decide if you're gonna like send it out?
Yeah. So I'll play a beat, I'll write to the beat, and then I'll do it a few times out loud, just kind of like get the hang of how I'm doing the flow, how I'm laying it down, make sure I got it pinned down right. And then I'll go in the studio and I'll set it up, and what happens is that hit record, you start rapping along with the beat, and then if you don't like it, you can restart. If you don't like it, you can restart, and I'll redo it a bunch of times to make sure I get it the way I like it. Sometimes I'll keep a piece of it, and then I'll, come back, record again, and I'll take a piece from another one that I did and piece it together. And just, you can do all kind of things on that computer, so you get that laid out right. And then once I have a reference track that I'm satisfied with, I send it to the engineer, and then he does all of the, clearing up the vocals real good, getting any background noise out of there that doesn't need to be there. Just kind of just making everything sound good. It's like when you paint a car, you don't just leave it, satin. You come back and you put gloss over it to protect it, right? It's the same thing when you lay down a song. It's raw, and then you put like a gloss over it, and then it's shined up and it's perfect. It's ready to go. So that's how it works. And then he messes with the levels and everything, make sure it's consistent with other songs that's on the platforms you're releasing. So there's like a standard. It's called mastering, right? So it makes the levels at a certain level to match every other all audio. Like the audio in my truck, it'll sound like any other song you put on in here. It'd be the same level. So that's pretty much the process. It's really not that. It takes a while, but it's not the most difficult process. So, yeah.
Like, how okay, so like whenever you do a voiceover, and do you sometimes like hear yourself kind of like muck up the like the voice thing, like the recording? Like, do you have to like start parts of it over, or do you start the whole thing over always?
You do parts of it sometimes. Like, let's say I get the whole first leg of the song perfect, and I want to keep that part. Yeah, I'll keep that part, and I'll stop where I messed up and then restart from there.
So it's kind of like, is it basically like TikTok, to where you just record a clip, and if you mess up, you just start over, or like get rid of a certain clip?
Yeah, you get rid of it. Yeah, you do it as many times as you need to.
Because there are some TikToks that I make that I have to do several times before I can finally get it perfect timing,
Yeah, no doubt. Me too. I mean, that verse that I put on TikTok, I probably recorded that thing 10 times before I got it right. I got it the way I wanted it to sound.
This episode was definitely one of the best episodes that I put together. Since the first episode re-edited, or the original edited version of the first episode, that was really good. I didn't really care for the second episode too much, but I put it out anyway. The third episode was definitely one of my favorites. And I'm not gonna lie, this was a very entertaining episode. This was just heartwarming to edit and watch at the same time. To me, when it comes to editing these videos and making these videos, I try to make as much footage as I possibly can, because there's certain things that you don't get to see and ask about Nate the Voice and put on YouTube. So yeah, over time, Nate's got to appreciate the things that I do. At first, he didn't really give me a chance. But as soon as he started seeing me using his music in his videos, I think that's what made him give me a chance and started checking out my videos, and that's basically how we got to know each other and got to visit each other. That's basically how it started right there. I mean, I started appreciating his work and music by drawing and coloring again, and watching all his content. And you know, at first I was actually scared of Nate. I was honestly afraid of him when I first started watching his live streams. But then, not long after that, I soon find out he's actually a pretty funny guy. And he's actually a really cool guy to hang out with. But anyways, I run out of time for this episode. I really hope you enjoyed this beautiful message. And yeah, if you want to know more about Nate the Voice, we can definitely make more videos. But anyways, this is Brendan TWL, and I will catch you in episode 4 of Nate the Voice. See ya.